Yo, what's going on YouTube? My name is Donnie Lamb, and thank you for stopping by my channel. Today we're going to be talking about my top 5 under-the-radar running back rookies going into next season, and talking about kind of who I think as far as their card prices could shoot up within the next couple of seasons. Now, I'm kind of new to card collecting. I think I started back around August last year, got some hobby boxes, and really enjoyed the experience of just kind of like collecting things. I have kind of like collected here and there, like different kinds of things. Got out of it. Like I used to collect Legos, Star Wars specifically. Unfortunately, I had to sell those when I was younger, and I kind of regret that because I had a lot of very valuable first edition sets. But anyway, yeah. So I never really pursued this hobby as a child. I did like football, but not to as much of an extent that I do now. And it's a fun hobby for that sport, like while the games aren't on or off season or those kinds of things. So it's pretty fun. So I know a lot of people on YouTube and just in general are giving advice about like veteran players and their card stock and who to go after. I'm doing a little bit different. It's more of a gamble this way. However, I think the prices are lower for those people that are on a budget and are skeptical. I think these 5 players that we're going to talk about today could eventually be, I'm not going to call them all-stars, but I think if you bought their cards now, like within a year or two, you might be able to double your return. So let's just jump into it. First player I want to talk about is Joshua Kelly. Now, he's had some play this last season. I believe he got hurt. I don't know what week it was. No, he pretty much he pretty much played every game. I think he might got injured for 1 week. But the reason I'm saying Joshua Kelly is because a couple of things. Austin Ekeler obviously is going to be starting for as long as he's a Charger. He's on the team until after the 2023 season. So about 4 years, or 3 years rather. Is it 3? Yeah, 3 years. And Joshua Kelly is going to be pretty much right after him. I think Justin Jackson is another running back they have. His contract is up after next year. And Kalen Balaj, who had a decent amount of carries, I believe, this is his last season, so he's not going to be there next year. I don't think they would sign him back. I really don't see how that would benefit them when they already have 3 running backs. So I don't think he'll be there next year. And Joshua Kelly did have some decent plays. The yardage really doesn't say much. He was probably averaging, 10 to 12 carries per game. The yards aren't a lot, but most of these games, they were down and they had to throw. So I think, and they just fired their head coach, so they're going to have a whole new coaching staff. The team might be a totally different team next season. We're not sure, but his card prices aren't too bad. I mean, I'm going to use Prizm base as kind of like the staple because Panini Prizm is kind of like the benchmark in cards, apparently, from what I've learned. And I mean, his cards aren't selling for that bad. I mean, $1 pretty much, but then you include the shipping. So I mean, if you can get lucky on some of these auctions where they don't have, where they have free shipping or very low shipping, like this, 99 cents with a $1 shipping, so $2 for his Prizm. Here's one where they have his base and then 2 parallels for, that was essentially $8.20, so less than $3 a card. This one has the base and another parallel for about $6.20, so $3. So I feel like he's the type of guy. He can, this next season, I think him and Ekeler are probably going to be, I wouldn't say splitting carries. I would say Ekeler is probably going to get like a 70, Kelly 30 workload. But I think he has potential to do something, especially after Justin Jackson's gone. Then it's only pretty much them 2. I'm gonna guess they'll probably pick up a 3rd running back, either in a draft or free agency or whatever. Yeah, so Joshua Kelly, I think he has a lot of potential. I think he's someone that could double your money quick. Don't take my word for it. I should make a point right now. All of this is just based on my own opinion from watching last season. I am not a financial expert at all. Anything like this, buying into cards or stocks, it's all a risk. These are higher risks than buying like a veteran player, but if you're on a lower budget, let's say, you want to spend like $50, you can get more, I would say, this route rather than buying or trying to go after, I don't know, like freaking Kyler Murray or rookie Russell or something like that. Like, I feel like this is just a lower price and then kind of like a higher risk if it pays off. So just note that, because I don't this is just kind of my guessing. All right, number four, I want to put out Keyshawn Vaughn. Now, he had a little bit, he didn't really have a lot going on. He only had 26 rushes, played in 10 games, 109 yards on the season. But he's also going behind Ronald Jones, who is, Tampa Bay's primary back. I mean, he had 192 carries for 978 this year. So Jones is going to be there pretty much, I think, for the next 3 years. The only thing is, though, Leonard Fournette and LaShawn McCoy's contracts are up after this season. So I don't know if the Bucs are going to try to re-sign either one of them. I mean, I don't see them signing McCoy back, even though I love McCoy. If he would have stayed on Philly for his whole career, oh my God. I'll never understand why they got rid of LaShawn. I wish he would have stayed in Philly, but I don't see them re-signing McCoy. Fournette he's still young. Fournette's still really young, and if they have the cap to do it, I would probably try to re-sign him for another year. I don't see why they wouldn't, but I would imagine he's probably looking for a bigger contract somewhere else. But Keyshawn played a little bit, like I said, not a lot. His best game was against Detroit with 15 carries for 62 yards and no touchdowns, only 7 yards in the receiving game. But I mean, he's not getting a lot of playing time. He's one of those guys where, let's say worst comes to worst, Jones gets hurt and Fournette and McCoy aren't there and they have another rookie running back, they'd probably start Vaughn. And I think that gives him more opportunity. Especially, I know Fournette had not a lot, but he had I don't even know if I want to say decent. He had more handoffs, I think, than Vaughn did. But if he's not there, if McCoy's not there, they only got 2 running backs. I think Keyshawn has more opportunity, and his cards are really cheap as well. I'm going to refresh this page. Now, his are a little bit, like, maybe $1 more than what Kelly's are going for. But one sold here on January 8th for, let's see, $250. And once again, these are prizm. These are prizm base cards. This one for about $3. A lot of 3 for, what would that be? $570 something. So, and then there's 2 a base plus a parallel, about $5. So not too bad. And if you can like snag one of these, 99 cents free shipping, then get after it. You know what I mean? Like, if you buy them cheap, and then let's say they have like 2-3 good seasons and their demand goes up, if you can get them graded. Now, granted, you don't have to, but if you could get them graded, flip them for, let's say, $50 and you bought it for $5. I mean, and this is just hypothetical. I'm not going to say it's going to happen, but like I said, it's a gamble. We just don't know what the future is going to happen. Look with Tom Brady. I mean, he was a 6th round pick, and he's arguably the best quarterback to ever play the game. So, we don't know, but I would look into Keyshawn. I've bought a couple, I think, for, $2 or $3. He's one that I would look out for. Now, here's where we're going to get like kind of, these next 3 players can go either from 1st to 3rd. Like, they can be interchangeable. I'm going to go ahead and say Zack Moss will come in at 3 for Buffalo. Now, his cards are going to be a little bit more because they're already in the playoffs. They just won their first game. Barely. Colts almost came back and won. Barely. But they are moving on. And here's the thing. You look at his last year's season, he played 13 games. He rushed for 112 yards and had 481 with 4 touchdowns. Devin Singletary wasn't too far ahead of him. He had 156 rushes with 687 yards and only 2 touchdowns. So these 2 players are kind of splitting carries, it seems like, with this, with the stat line. Moss had 2 games where he rushed for 81 yards, 13 and 14 carries, and didn't have any touchdowns those games. We had 2 against, what's NWE? Is that New England? I guess that's New England. You know, he's productive. He definitely is productive. And here's the thing. Singletary's contract only runs for 2 more years. Granted, he's super young. I would think they would re-sign him if they have the cap space. But I don't know. You know, if they continue this route where they're kind of splitting carries, where Singletary's getting the 60, Moss is getting the 40%. You know, he's got a chance to break out. Granted, his cards are going for a decent amount, but they're still very low. Here's an example: 6 prizm cards, 4 base, 2 parallels, 850 plus 385. So that's math, about $12, or about $12.50. So what's that? Do math. $2 a card. Not bad. Here's a lot of 4, 2 base and 2 parallels. You know, that one's about 13. No, 11. I can't do simple math. So, I mean, he's not bad. I mean, that one's for 4. I mean, the thing about the card price is the shipping. You really got to be paying attention to the shipping costs. I overpaid a couple. Not by a lot, but a decent amount. Like, someone bought this for 99 cents, but the shipping's $4.20. So if you can snag, you know, if you can get lucky and snag one of these cards where the shipping's like $1 or free shipping, then you're really in. But yeah, I feel like his card prices are low, and he's got a very good potential to break out and potentially raise his demand or his card stock. Moving on to number 2, I'm gonna go Cam Akers. Now, obviously, he's already doing work. I mean, his regular season, you know, 145 rushes, 625 yards, 2 touchdowns. Only played in 13 games. I'm surprised it wasn't the full 17. But I mean, his high was against New England, 29 rushes for 171 yards. So that's like a 3 down back number. You know, like, he has potential to do that every once in a while. 21 attempts against Arizona for 72 yards, touchdown. Against San Francisco, 9 attempts for 84 yards, touchdown. So he's definitely a guy that can definitely see a workload. And granted, Malcolm Brown, his contract's over. So I think next year, according to the depth chart, Cam Akers is right there to take the spot. So Cam Akers will start next year, according to all of this plays out. I don't know how old Malcolm Brown is. All right, so he'll be 20. He's already 27, so he'll be 28 next year. I don't know if they're going to sign him back. Cam Akers can do the job. So, you know, why sign him back if Akers is good enough to take, you know, be the starter? Akers' price is a little bit more, but not by much. $720 for a base. This is where it starts getting a little bit more expensive. Now you're looking at 10 or 11, 9 base plus a parallel for 18. I think that's a little bit overpriced. But yeah, I mean, I think if you can snag a decent one, like this one's $850, which I definitely can see his cards being way higher after next season, as long as he stays healthy and he can produce. Someone snagged one for $510. This one for $7. So I mean, there's potential out there. You just gotta get the right listings. That one for $625. So yeah, I think he's definitely one of those players that's going to be starting next year. He'll be able, I think, to put up a decent number, and I think ultimately increase his demand for his cards. So Cam Akers, number 2. Now next one, number 1, and to be honest, I don't know much about this guy. I just know that he didn't have a lot of snaps this season because of Aaron Jones. I'm gonna say AJ Dillon will be a guy to look out for. Now, the Packers are screwed on cap space. They have no money.
In terms of money, we have no money.
They're in the negatives. They're not going to be able to sign Aaron Jones back. AJ Dillon will probably be the starter. Actually, now that I talk about it, Jamal Williams is in front. Ooh. You know what? I think I might have to change my decision on that. I didn't anticipate this. Okay, I didn't realize I had another guy. Oh, yeah, he's gone too. All right, so I had to double check on the Packers lineup, because I didn't realize Jamal Williams was ahead of him, AJ Dillon. So, but here's the thing though, he's gone after the season too. The Packers literally are like negative 22 million in cap space debt. So I don't see, them signing either one of those back. So I think AJ Dillon's probably gonna get the start there, unless they can, I don't know, work some kind of money magic during the offseason. I don't think it's going to happen, though. So I think A.J. Dillon probably gets the start next season. And as far as I'm aware, I don't know if... Last time I checked, his prisms were okay. This one was for about 7. That one's for about 11. 8 or 9. 8. So you can definitely snag them for pretty cheap. This one was 5. This one sold for... $430. 2 of them sold for $9, which is, that's $450 a piece. Not too bad. 5, about 4. So that's actually about 4. Yeah, so about I don't know, 4 to 5, 5 to 8. 5 to 8 is probably a better range. But I think that these guys are undervalued, all 5 of them. In the sense of, you've already got the top guys this season. Jonathan Taylor, James Robinson. Those guys are already cemented. They already had 1,000-yard seasons. And if you're just getting into this, sports card thing, they might be a little bit much. So I wanted to go a different route and talk about players that were a little bit under the radar, that people might not be thinking about, that could potentially have a big next couple of seasons. As I said before in the video, I am not a financial expert. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. This is just a video of what I personally think is going to happen in the seasons to come. If it happens, sweet. If it doesn't, don't go into this thinking, it's not like a Netflix stock where it's going to shoot up in 2 years and you're going to make 1,000 times return or whatever Netflix stock buyers went through. I don't know. So don't go spending your retirement on football cards. Just if you have some leftover cash that you're not dependent on, and you want to try to get in something new, if you like football, then maybe try this a little bit. I don't know. It's all up to you. Just do not go out of your way to get into this. That's all I'm gonna say. Be smart, be responsible, and just listen to this as just a thought. Don't throw all your money on these players. Just think about it, and if it's something you'd be like, oh yeah, I could see that, and I have, I don't know, $10. Let me go get a AJ or a Cam Akers, rookie or whatever. And you could find these guys' cards in Mosaic. I personally really like the Phoenix Panini set. I think I really think the Phoenix brand is undervalued, but I think it's only the 3rd year they've made this set, so we'll see what happens in the future. But like I said, just players to kind of keep in the back of your mind when you're watching next season or the preseason, if we have one. I imagine we will. And just to kind of see, what kind of talent they have and that kind of a thing. So I'm going to end the video here. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this video was insightful and maybe got the wheels in the brain turning a little bit, just to kind of think about players we haven't really seen perform at a starter position, a starter position workload. And we'll see what happens in the future. I'm excited for next season. We had a lot of good rookies come out this season, so it's gonna be fun to watch Jefferson. Even though he's on the Cowboys, CD. I'd love to see Jerry Jeudy have a better next season. And the running back situation, I think Zack Moss, I don't know why, but my gut's telling me Zack Moss is going to have a bigger season next year, just based on the numbers, him probably getting more looks, and maybe him and Singletary will go 50-50, or they'll do a running back by committee. I don't know though, but it'll be exciting to see. And once again, thank you guys for watching. If you like this kind of content, subscribe. And listen, I'm just gonna say I'm terrible at asking for people to subscribe or like the video. So if you enjoyed, please do those things. I'm not one to ask for it because I hate asking. So I'm sure you guys have been on YouTube long enough to know that kind of stuff. So maybe I'll just like get a green screen effect and roll it into a video and not really ask because I hate doing that. But next, well, maybe we'll have a video on wide receivers. So like 5 under the radar wide receivers I'd like to maybe dive into. So if you'd like to see that, drop a like on the video, and that will give me an idea to make that. Even though I'll probably do it anyway. I need to do it anyway. So have a good day, guys. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.